sexy in the... Welcome to Raw is Jericho!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Listen up, you blind slapnut. If I can be serious for a minute.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.
The real reason I'm here tonight is because we are live!
We are NXT.
It's go time, folks! Sweet! A little bit of the bubbly.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
For life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages, we are back after a lovely Thanksgiving weekend. Sorry we weren't here last Saturday. We were supposed to be, but Thanksgiving on the brain put me in a Thanksgiving comatose to where I completely forgot about this. My bad on this, but we are back. It is Thursday. It is time for the Wrestling Weekend Review Show here on the Flex Network. I am the Snowman, and damn, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the last 2 weeks. We had Survivor Series. That was okay. It was good. I mean, we got to see the finale of The Dead Man the last time. It was a moment that everyone can say there is crying in wrestling because, damn, that was a tearjerker. We had Winter's Coming last night. OMG. That was crazy. We're on the road to take over War Games 4. This weekend, we had Raw, we had SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite. We had a lot of things going down. But man, we got to get, compact here because we got a lot of stuff to unwind over the last 2 weeks to get you guys caught up. If you've been missing the shizzo, because you know how it is, because it is just too sweet when you watch wrestling. But man, sorry about that. I had to take a drink. But yeah, and we also had some sad news, and we're going to talk about that as we're talking about what went down on the Wrestling Weekend Review Show here with the news. Thanks, CG, Corey, for checking in. The Snowman is back. And it's December, so that time, it's freezing now. It's starting to get cold around here. I might have to start doing some festival stuff around here, some cold stuff. But nonetheless, let's get into it. We have a lot of stuff to recover over the last 2 weeks. So let's get into it with the news report. Actually, you know what? Before that, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should be. But make sure you guys check that out every Thursday. Of course, when you guys recap this on Spotify or your podcast or whatever, you want to get the feel of a live show. But I got to do this. I haven't done this in a while because on Thursdays, I like to do this because we are live. Yes, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We are live on the Twitter. So check on in, ask questions. I can probably give you some answers. But let's get into the news report for the week. Actually, the last 2 weeks. We're actually going to kick things off with a sad note because yesterday, a long-time WWE employee, the first ever Intercontinental Champion of the world, the creator of the Royal Rumble, the man the myth, the legend, the first ever gay wrestler that's actually come out. The first person, I would think, but a very long time coming. But Pat Patterson has passed away at the age of 79 yesterday. It's so sad. The man has, created, of course, he helped create the Royal Rumble. He was the guy, the genius who said, let's have a Royal Rumble. A battle royal is not enough, where everyone's in the ring at one time. Let's have a match where first, every, two people start out in the ring, and then every 60, 90, 90 seconds, 90 seconds, 60, 90 seconds, depending on what year it was, another person would walk, be entered into the ring. And then it continued until 30, there was 30 people, or in one case, we had the biggest Royal Rumble and we had 60. But we narrow it down and we make them the winner of a Royal Rumble. And then years on later was added on that the winner gets a title shot at WrestleMania in the main event. I best know Pat Patterson as a lot of you, who watched the Attitude Era, who was in Attitude Era. He wasn't the first Intercontinental Champion, the first ever Intercontinental Champion in history to you guys. He was, to me, what he was to a lot of people. He was Vince McMahon's stooge. He was one of the stooges that every single Monday or on the pay-per-view, depending on if McMahon was there, involved with Austin, he would get stunned. He would get beaten up by Stone Cold Steve Austin. But it is such sad that we had to, say goodbye to Pat Patterson. It was just, super sad yesterday to hear that the man who was the first ever Intercontinental Champion and, the man who made the Royal Rumble, who, put into Vince McMahon's ear, he's like, you know what? Let's have an Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart at WrestleMania 12. He's the one who put the bug in that ear that these two men need to be in an Iron Man match. But it's just sad. Again, passed away at age 79 yesterday on Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Another, horrible, sad, passing away in the year of 2020, the worst year ever. Rest in peace, Pat Patterson. Thank you very much for everything you've done. Moving on, let's get on to some brighter news because, we got a lot of things. Braun Strowman, if you guys remember, obviously we haven't been saying it, but after Survivor Series, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, Braun Strowman is suspended indefinitely. AKA he is injured. He is out with a knee injury, so he is going to be out for a little while. We don't know the extent of the knee injury, if it's, requires surgery or if it's just beaten and battered and bruised and he just needed, it was causing problems. So he's going to take some time off. We don't know what the situation is with that, how long he's going to be out for. Jericho, yes. The demo god of AEW has some new merch available. He has launched the Painmaker collection. It looks pretty sweet, man. It represents his time in New Japan Pro Wrestling, in New Japan, when he was there as a young lion, and then when he came back, it looks pretty sweet. Just very sweet. You guys can go check that out on painmaker.store. Check that out. There is some great Chris Jericho merch that he has there of his own creation. Go and check that out. May get some stuff, last minute stuff for Christmas. Oh yeah. Other news, we have a lot of news, so I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Seth Rollins, of course, we all know he's going to be out for the birth of his child. That's why we saw him at Survivor Series, obviously getting the bro kick square right in the face and offering himself as a sacrifice. So he is going to be gone for, of course, time for him to be gone so he can enjoy his time with his wife soon to be wife, I would say, soon to be wife, and his unborn, his child that they're going to be bringing into this world. Though we don't know how long he's going to be out for. He may be going to be come back maybe about January, maybe about Rumble time. So it's up in the air. We don't know yet. It's not, nothing's been tossed out there for anybody to nibble on. Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods, he is been announced as a new host for the returning G4 programming. That is just so sweet to see that Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, host of Up Up Down Down. Everybody love Up Up Down Down. Go and check that out. He's gonna be joining the G4. If you guys remember, that was like a video game channel on TV that they had all these different shows. Attack of the Show. They had they had Ninja Warrior on there, like the original when they were in Japan, and then they started doing like the early versions of American Ninja Warrior that was still in Japan. But yeah, they just had a lot of interesting shows on that network. But it was mostly around like video games, like Xbox, Attack of the Show. So just a lot. It's great to see that network is coming back, and Austin Creed is going to be joining that network as a host. So he's got a lot of his plate now. He's got Up Up Down Down. He's got defending the WWE World Tag Team Champions on Raw for the Raw brand, and he's got this new gig. So he's gonna have a fully loaded plate here, ladies and gentlemen. Or is it gonna be awesome? Bella Twins are looking to make a comeback for those women's tag team titles. I know we've said this in the past before, but it looks like it's not going to be anytime soon. So everyone out there that is freaking out, that is pushing the panic button or we don't want to see the Bella Twins right now, hold your horses. They're not making an immediate comeback. I mean, geez, they're still in mommy mode right now after just giving birth, and they still got other things that they want to do. And of course, with the world right now as it is, I think they can hold off on what's coming back for right now. But they are looking to come back and capture those for another, for one more run to go after those women's tag team titles. Should be interesting to, for these future Hall of Famers, obviously once we get somewhat back to normal to where we can have fans in the stands and we have people coming to the shows, we'll have the Hall of Fame, and we'll have, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a big Hall of Fame. We're going to have a big old one because we're going to probably have one for this WrestleMania when we start getting an announcement, and it's going to be combined. So just a lot of people are going to be ending up in the Hall of Fame, soon. Here's a name you guys haven't heard in a long time. Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner. Now, why would I be saying those two names, those Steiner brothers? Well, the son of Rick Steiner recently got a WWE tryout. Bronson Winchester, a.k.a. the son of the dog-faced gremlin, ho, 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 Rick Steiner, got a tryout recently. He was signed to the Baltimore Ravens earlier in the year, but he was cut from the team during training camp. So I would not be surprised, to see, hold on. I would not be surprised to see a Steiner back, on a roster somewhere, if it's in WWE, if it's down NXT, if it's at AEW, if it's at Impact. We're gonna have to talk about that, but or heading on over to New Japan for a short stint, and getting some get some matches and training under his belt more. I mean, granted, having the son of Rick Steiner, the dog-faced gremlin, would be freaking awesome for any company. Hopefully, if he's just as good as his dad and his uncle, I mean, granted, it's Scott Steiner, the big bad boy daddy, the generic freak that he is. And just, if you guys remember back in the day, these two were a powerhouse of a tag team, and they captured almost every tag team title out there, beating all the legendary tag teams. So should be awesome to see down the road. In other news, up in Canada, most likely in Toronto at the Skydome. This legendary place, the Skydome, you guys should all remember this, is the host of WrestleMania 6. The Mega Powers Explode. That one. Of Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan going at it for title for title match. That legendary match. WrestleMania 18. Hogan versus The Rock. World Undisputed Championship. Triple H versus Jericho. That mega event right there. And the biggest attendance for a Raw in history on a Saturday night special edition of Raw at 41,432. It's on the network. Go check it out, guys. It's on February 13th, 1999. That was a damn good Raw. It was on the road to St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Actually, it was the last stop before St. Valentine's Day Massacre and the steel cage match between Austin McMahon and the last man standing match between Rock and Mankind. Yeah, it was just a lot of craziness, but there are plans, or has been talk and has been thoughts of, to demolish the Skydome, aka what we all know, in the wrestling community as Skydome, but it's now known as Rogers Center. It's the home of the Blue Jays, and they are looking to probably just might get demolished in the not distant future. Hopefully after COVID is under our thumb, and while there's a report from the Toronto's Globe and Mall recently that stated that plans are in place to demolish the Rogers Center, aka the Skydome. However, stated that any plans to demolish the famous venue have been put on hold due to the pandemic. So I'm gonna have a thought about this, before we continue on with last little the news quickly. The Skydome, I understand buildings that stadiums that don't cut the mustard anymore, that don't meet today's standards of what probably are not getting enough fans in there, to say the least. But the thing with Skydome, I mean, it's a venue that has, at least it looks well integrated into the city area. It obviously, I believe, if I remember, I saw one time a video that they have a hotel up there that's integrated with Skydome, that there's a couple of the rooms that can overlook and see the ball field, or the stadium, whatever's going on in there, and people can actually stay there, and they would be able to watch this, if there was a baseball game, if there was a Blue Jays game, they'd be able to watch a game. It costs a pretty penny, to stay in that, those rooms, but still, I mean, that's kind of ingenious, intuition right there for a hotel to be, right, literally smack dab right next to the center, or to Skydome, and to Rogers Stadium, Rogers Center, because it's technically owned by Roger Communications, but I'm still calling it Skydome. That it's integrated, that you can, for baseball fans, that what, I don't, I know that there's probably a game going on. Let's see if we can get that room or a couple of those rooms for the night, and we could sit. We could drink beer. We could watch We don't have to go to the sit in the side of the stadium, but we could stay in our room. We could chill out and watch it. It's like that's pretty cool. But again, I mean, it's whatever the Roger Communications that they own the stadium, they can do what they want with it. But I think and feel like the people of Toronto should have an idea of like, what? Do we really want to try to demolish this large, vast piece of real estate right here? I mean, I feel like I don't know what's going on exactly. I don't know if Roger Center is feeling inadequate or if it's out of like things are not working. It's like, or if it feels like it has that Oakland A's stadium feel, like it is just horrific to say the least, where you got sewage coming up from into the clubhouse, into the dressing room, where things are falling apart. It's not meant to last this long. It was, falling apart. I mean, you guys could go back and check out video and check out stuff that was said about Oakland Coliseum, aka where the Oakland Raiders have used to play. What one, two, they came back two, then they left. I like two times where they left, they came back, they left, they came back again, and then they left permanently for Vegas, and where Oakland A's are currently playing right now. So again, there is video and new stuff out there from down in the Bay that you guys could go check out that give you a better description of what exactly how bad Oakland Coliseum is for today's action and everything. So, but until I discover more of why they're thinking of, like, why tear down Sky Dome. I mean, if it still works, I mean, if you are able to open up the dome on a nice summer day and have outside, technically have outside, baseball like the Seattle Mariners do down here or in my area. Well, and it's a very unique, arena that is very awesome. So, but again, they own it. They can do whatever they want with it. Hopefully it's something cool or, whatever plans they have. Moving along from that. Now that I just went on a rant for that. It looks like, Twitch and WWE. Again, we're back to this. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. WWE and the Twitch, third-party saga that has been going on. Apparently, there has been a outline of who and who cannot be on Twitch or use third-party access stuff. Third-party stuff, outside. Apparently, NXT is exempt from the main roster's ruling. So, if you guys been watching, like, up, down, you'd see, Chugs, aka Adam Cole, baby. He's actually doing stuff on Twitch. He has his own channel on Twitch. He is actually, looks like he's immune. If you've also been seeing, like, Dakota Kai, has been doing stuff. She has her own channel, and obviously it looks like NXT is exempt from the main roster's ruling about talent using third-party content. However, the rule can change at any moment, as it is mostly a contract structure. Is the reason most of the NXT people have had no issue with the Twitch streaming, while main roster has had a problem, and the base pay is a bigger part of it. So that is what we're seeing, and that is going to be the news report for the week. Woo! But yeah, that is pretty much it. So let's get into the week in review. Actually, the 2-week week in review. We're gonna start with the pay-per-view. We're gonna start with Survivor Series, but before we do that, if you've not been watching anything out there that's been going on the shows, what's been going on TV, and you're listening to this, just be forewarned. It's time for spoilers. So guess what? You hear the woo. Woo! It's time for spoilers. So here we go. Survivor Series. We're going to be talking about it because Survivor Series was awesome. I mean, to a point. We had a lot of things go down. I mean, not really a whole lot of shock and awe. I mean, to a certain point. But here's what went down at Survivor Series. We had an 18-man dual brand battle royal on the pre-show. The Miz wins it after eliminating Dominic Mysterio, thinking he won. Thanks to the Miz, hiding, sneaking under the ropes, hiding out till near the very end. Dominic thinks he won. Miz rolls back in, tosses him over, and Miz wins for Team Raw. So he is put one up on Team Raw on the Survivor Series. The men's 5-on-5 Survivor Series style match. Team Raw taking on Team SmackDown. Team Raw having AJ, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Riddle. Taking on SmackDown's Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis. As we said in the news, Seth Rollins making the greater good sacrifice, getting his head kicked off by Sheamus. He gets eliminated first. Kevin Owens not follow suit. A little bit later, Corbin gets eliminated. Otis gets eliminated. Jey Uso gets eliminated. So we had a clean sweep for Team Raw, as literally no one got eliminated. What? That's just crazy to say the least. I mean, to think about it, we had no one from Team Raw eliminated. Team SmackDown fell apart faster than wet tissue paper. It was just bad. I mean, SmackDown, come on. You're just proving why you're the B show. Just to say. So Raw wins some 5-on-5 Survivor Series men's matchup. Tag team champions matchup went down. Profits representing Team SmackDown taking on the New Day of Team Raw and as the Raw Tag Team Champs. This match was the show stealer, guys. Literally, this was the match of the night, I would say, because you had the two best tag teams, the two teams that were running both brands, and these guys laid it all out on the line for everyone to see. Fortunately for the New Day, SmackDown pulls up and bashes them in the face as the Street Profits pull off the big win and win for SmackDown. SmackDown down 2-1 at this point for the show. Go on to the U.S. Intercontinental Championship. Bobby Lashley beats Sami Zayn via submission after Sami tried so hard, literally like a try hard on Call of Duty, just a supreme sweaty try hard to get himself to try to get Bobby Lashley disqualified, to try to get the Hurt Business tossed out. Literally, you could see it near the end. Sammy was trying to leave, and he inadvertently, not even inadvertently, just forcibly tries to trip over MVP to get himself, like, he tripped me, he hit me, blah, blah, blah. He tried to get blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, he didn't touch you, son. Try again. The paranoia is getting to your head, man. Come on. But unfortunately, Bobby Lashley makes Sami Zayn submit. Raw up 3-1 on Survivor Series. The women's championship match, Sasha Banks beating Asuka. This one was a good match, to say the least. I mean, we saw a lot of it during the summer, but I figure, Sasha Banks' new attitude towards, as the SmackDown champ rather than being the Raw Women's champ with her cohort, Bailey, or former cohort, Bailey, and running both shows or all three shows like it's going out of style. But Sasha Banks pulls up the victory on Asuka, brings it back to a 2-3 deficit. The Women's Survivor Series elimination match, Team Raw with the Women's Tag Team Champs, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, the replacements of Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and the surprise of the decade, Lana, on Team Raw, taking on Team SmackDown's Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Natalya. And you want to talk about batshit crazy and just pure, what the heck just happened? This takes the cake beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, first off, Bayley gets eliminated. It's the first person out, the team captain for SmackDown. Then we go on a literal just Peyton Royce gone, submission thanks to Natalya. Natalya's gone thanks to Lacey. Ruby's gone thanks to Shayna with getting pinned. Lacey's gone thanks to Liv. Liv is gone thanks to Nia. And then we're down to Shayna, Nia, Bianca, and Lana. Four, what? Two on each, or what? 3-on-1. So we lose Shayna to DQ because she wouldn't let go of the choke. She gets DQ'd. Nia and Lana are left. It's 2-on-1 versus Bianca. Nia and Bianca both get counted out outside the ring. And the sole survivor of the Women's Survivor Series elimination match is Lana. Lana won?
What the f***?
Literally, I'll play it again.
What the f***?
Help us, Lord. That was just literally.
For instance, if you were to look up all-time bonehead plays,
you would see that was just a bonehead play for Nia Jax. I mean, literally, this person has, Shayna and Nia have literally bullied Lana. She got in for a cup of coffee early into the match. Got some moves in and then tagged out, force tagged, and told to stay on the steps. You don't do a dang thing. I don't care. We don't care what you do. Just stay here. You don't move. And yet she's the sole survivor of the women's team. Yeah, no one was cheered for that one. That was just crazy, to say the least. But unfortunately for SmackDown, this puts them out, as Team Raw will win the pay-per-view event. They will win it, what? 1, 2, 3, 4-3, as the main event we knew was going to be Roman Reigns taking on Drew McIntyre in the World Champions matchup. And you know what? This one could have gone either way. Could have gone to Drew. Could have gone to, to Roman before the Jey Uso came in and interfered. Yeah, literally. I thought this was going to be Drew McIntyre's night. Raw, granted, he got the world title back on the previous Raw. We're going to go through in a second. But the plot thickens for the Roman and Jey story. But yeah, it's just a lot of craziness. But Roman Reigns pulls out the victory for Team SmackDown as he proves he is the world champ in the WWE as the Universal Champion. And that ends Survivor Series. Of course, we had Undertaker say his final farewell. to the Undertaker character, at least, just to say, but it was a very, nice way to end the night. We had a whole bunch of superstars in the, show up before the hand, and then they were like, you know what, we're going to give the Undertaker his time. He's earned every single second of it in the ring by himself. Let's have it. So that was Survivor Series this past week. And, to end off November, let's roll right into Raw, as we know that at Raw this past week, we knew that, let's roll right into Raw not this last Raw, but the previous Raw to end the month. Actually, no, sorry, I'm getting confused in my own time. It was 2 weeks ago on Raw. Sorry, it was the 23rd. Raw 23rd. Literally, just a lot of craziness on my end. Hurt Business, lost to New Day, so they couldn't represent as tag team champs at Survivor Series. We had. Wait a minute, I think I got. Nope. Yep. I'm on the right frame of mind here. We had 3 triple threat number 1 contenders matches to determine number 1 contenders. A triple threat number 1 contenders match for this last week's Raw to end the month on November 30th. We had one-on-one match. These are one-on-one qualifying matches for a triple threat this past Monday. Riddle defeated Sheamus. That was an actual shock surprise. We had Keith Lee beat Bobby Lashley thanks to a disqualification, so he moves on. And we had AJ Styles beat Randy Orton thanks to a little distraction from he must not be named, because if he does, we're going to go to the Looney Asylum. That is a funhouse. So I'm not going to mention his name on here, because then all kinds of chaos would be going on. Alexa Bliss taking on Nikki Cross. Bliss wins in crazy fashion. Like, I am falling in love, more and more in love with the fact Bliss and the Fiend or slash Bray Wyatt are killing it as a team right now in the Firefly Funhouse. It has literally just been a dream to see on TV every week. It's been fun to see. But yeah, we did not have another table. Literally, the table streak has ended at 9. We didn't get a 10, which is sad for Lana, or actually sad for Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, because they had a great thing going, put Lana through a table. But they missed their opportunity at Survivor Series. They missed their opportunity on Raw on the 23rd. They lost their tag team action to Asuka and Lana, which even shocked, surprise that one happened. Dynamite. Let's end Dynamite this, not again, the last one of November. Hangman Page taking on John Silver. John Silver loses to Hangman Page. Powerhouse Hobbs, aka Will Hobbs, taking on Lee Johnson. Hobbs picks up the victory. TH2 defeats Top Flight in a great tag team action last week. Inner Circle 6-man tag beating SCU. Or actually, no, it was tag team action. Sorry about that. I'm like, bleh. Hiroki Shida defended and retained her AEW Women's Championship against Anna Jay. And of course, at the final match of the night, a returning Pac and Phoenix defeat Butcher and the Blade in tag team action. To end the month of November for AEW was it was a good show. Of course, looking to build off to last night's show, Winter is Coming, to kick off the month of December, which we're going to talk about in a very short bit. NXT also on the 25th, we had Candice LeRae defeat Ember Moon. We also saw more members join Candice LeRae as Tony Storm joined the crew. Kushida defeated Timothy Thatcher. Cameron Grimes defeated Jake Atlas. And then in a ladder match to decide the advantage for the men's War Games match, the advantage of which team will enter in last and who will be dreadfully entering first, was decided as Pete Dunne defeated Kyle O'Reilly thanks to a mysterious unknown person, which we're probably all thinking it's Pat McAfee, even though he said, and of course his goons in Kings of NXT said he was not there. The ladder match was great, so we know that the Kings of NXT have the advantage in the men's War Games match. Should be an awesome War Games match, to say the least, this coming Saturday. On this, yep. Actually, sorry, make that Sunday. I forgot. It's Sunday. They moved it to Sunday. So let's get into this week, or actually, still got last week's SmackDown. So now we're back on the normal train of thought for a normal week. SmackDown last week, first one after Survivor Series. Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode defeat the Street Profits in a non-title match. That one was a real shock to the system. Profits have been high up with these guys. I thought there was no way that they're going to lose to Ziggler and Roode. But of course, you know, every so often there's got to be a loss in there. This gives Roode and Ziggler an opportunity for a future SmackDown World Tag Team title match. Should be very good to see. Sami Zayn defeated Daniel Bryan via countout. Didn't really like that match a whole lot. I mean, the whole, you know, losing via countout and the fact how Sami Zayn, I mean, Sami right now has been an interesting feat on SmackDown to see, you know, with his, you know, paranoia, you know, trying to prove that he's the champion, that he's, you know, just, it's just funny and interesting for me to see every week. It's just, but losing, you know, having this match and then count out is just kind of like, really kind of stupid. Bianca Belair taking on Natalya. Belair beating Natalya. Nothing really interesting to say about that. Murphy taking on King Corbin. And then main event, Jey Uso taking on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens picking up the win via disqualification. And then just laying waste to Jey Uso, as this is putting him in line for the Universal title shot down the line. Hopefully we'll see that at TLC. Raw this past week, the last one of November to end the month of the turkey. Jeff Hardy and Elias in a Symphony of Destruction match. This was just crazy from the word go. Of course, Jeff picks up the victory. He's okay after his, I guess, after that last swanton dive off the corner through the table, and it looked like he hit the back of his head off the steel steps. He says he's good. He's okay. So, I mean, it was just a crazy match. I mean, you had all the Symphony of Destruction, you know, all this musical instruments as weapons. It was crazy. Slapjack taking on Ricochet, and Slapjack beating Ricochet. I have seriously been saying this on the shows every week that Retribution is weak, is like severely weak. They've been handed a weak deal in how they're handling and how they're doing things right now with all their stuff that's going on, from their look and everything. I seriously do not see these guys as a threat to anyone, unless, you know, there's got to be some serious changes with Retribution. I mean, there's got to be something drastic done. I mean, to say that we're serious about this is a serious group, and it just, it's just a comic joke right now, and they're trying to be serious, which is bad. Dana Brooke beats Reckoning, aka Mia Yim. Yeah. Again, I mean, just coming off of Survivor Series, before Survivor Series with the attack, just payback right here. Didn't really, it was just like, not really all that interested in. We had the triple threat match to determine the WWE Championship opportunity at TLC. AJ Styles, Keith Lee, and Riddle. And this one was all that was cracked up to be. It was a damn good match. Thought that Keith Lee was going to take it and run with it and have a championship opportunity at TLC. But unfortunately, it is the Phenomenal One picking up the victory. And he will be moving on to TLC for the WWE Championship. And Miz had a prime opportunity on Raw to get the title off of Drew McIntyre. But, I mean, even beforehand, during their tag team match with Drew versus and Sheamus taking on Miz and Morrison, Miz had an opportunity after the match. I mean, it was a good match all around, but thanks to AJ Styles interfering and giving the victory to Drew and Sheamus, Miz had an opportunity to cash in, but yeah, just a lot of calamity and miscues for the Miz to cash in Money in the Bank and get that WWE Championship off of Drew. So that was Raw. It was okay. Raw for the first Raw or the second Raw after Survivor Series, it was decent at least, but now we're building towards tables, ladders, and chairs. Let's get into NXT, the last NXT, before we head into War Games this Sunday. Leon Ruff and Damian Priest taking on Legado del Fantasma, as Santos Escobar and Raul Mendoza in tag team action. Man, talk about, but a lot of things going into this, with the triple threat match coming up for the North American Championship. Damian Priest protecting his somewhat of an investment on Leon Ruff. I mean, granted, he helped him defeat Johnny Wrestling twice for the title and retaining it, which has been a calamity and fun as always to see. Priest and Ruff win. They pick up the victory. I've been loving watching NXT, and the stuff that's been going on. It's been very entertaining. Cameron Grimes defeats Austin Gray, and just hyping himself up to get ready for the strap match that he's going to have against Dexter Lumis, and then of course Dexter Lumis comes out and just straps him silly with that strap on Cameron Grimes. Jake Atlas taking on Tony Nese in cruiserweight action. It was a good match, to say the least. Don't have anything to say about it. Grizzled Young Vets taking on Imperium, ended in a no contest. We didn't get a true fit, ending. I'm actually interested to see these two guys go at it again without interference from, I forgot what their tag team name was, literally off the top of my head. I cannot think of it. And then, of course, Shotzi taking on Raquel Gonzalez in a ladder match for the advantage in the women's War Games match. This was awesome to see. The last ladder match was awesome. This one, of course, with the women was even better. We had interference thanks to it's Candice LeRae's new run buddy. I cannot think of her name off the top of my head. But yeah, allowing Candice, Dakota, Raquel, and Candice, Dakota, and Tony to get off their little perches to, cause distractions, and of course, all kinds of chaos ensued. And then we get to see Io Shirai come on the scene and attack Raquel, and join in the melee. And allow Shotzi to get up and go grab the briefcase to have the advantage for the women's War Games match. That was crazy, and War Games is going to be even more crazy as we now know the final member for Team Shotzi, which is going to be awesome. But you want to talk about awesome, and we're going to run down the card for NXT War Games in a small little bit. This past Dynamite, oh boy, this was just crazy from the word go. I mean, they were hyping it up as the biggest, Dynamite of the year, and boy, did they knock it out of the park. By no stretch of the truth, they bashed it out of the park. We had the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. Of course, the last two in the ring is going to face next week on Dynamite for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. We had MJF, the defending winner of the ring. Wardlow, Miro, Kip Sabian, Orange Cassidy, Matt Hardy, Hangman Page, Sammy Guevara, Private Party, Matt Sydal, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Scorpio Sky. Man, we had a lot of people in this Battle Royal. A lot of interesting dynamics, of course, Inner Circle. It was a great way to open up Dynamite. But to say the least, we're going to get a great, match next week, as is going to be MJF defending the ring, taking on freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy in this one-on-one matchup next week for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Second match, we had Jericho taking on Frankie Kazarian of SCU. And boy, to say the least, Jericho looking a bit in trouble, and with his buddies in the Inner Circle coming out, and we had MJF holding the towel, think he was going to throw it in, and Sammy saves the towel from being thrown in, and them arguing. Jericho able to get back up, knock Kazarian with the Judas, the Judas elbow, and just a lot of craziness as Jericho wins, and we get to see Jericho issue the ultimatum that next week they're gonna take a vote if this thing is going to continue, or is the Inner Circle going to be over, to say the least. Literally, just it was good to see for NXT for Dynamite this past week. I still have NXT on the brain a little bit. Britt Baker taking on Leah Hirsch in one-on-one action. Leah Hirsch is a little some gun right here. Little. I don't know why they're trying to hype her up as a little bit bigger, but because on camera she's little one. But she can pack a little punch in her. But unfortunately, the doctor of Britt Baker prevails as she wins her match against Leah Hirsch via submission. Cody and Darby Allin, the TNT champion, taking on Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks of Team Taz. It was a great matchup. I mean, we got to see Cody get into it. Darby, getting some action on Ricky Starks, but thanks to Darby Allin, that coffin drop, Darby and Cody pick up the victory, and afterwards is where we get the craziness, attacks, thanks to with Taz coming out, with Cage coming out, with Arn Anderson getting into it, Double A, getting in some shots, Dustin Rhodes getting some shots in, but Lord, it pales in comparison because we had an unexpected surprise, because for the first time in nearly 19 years since the last episode on TNT Monday Night Nitro, the main event match between Stinger and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Sting makes a surprise debut on TNT on Dynamite and is now all elite. He is now officially on Team AEW, and he just comes out, with snow falling, new Titantron, new entrance. It's like, it's just awesome to see the Stizinger is now on the black and gold team that is AEW. It was a great moment. It was a great night. For even just that, and they still had the main event. So I guess we know why Sting was not signed to WWE anymore with the Legends contract. We now know that why Shop pulled his merchandise off off their site, why you don't see Sting anymore, in the shop, the Stinger shirt, and the sweatshirts and stuff like that. We now know because he's now with AEW. He's, I guess he's a multi-year deal with AEW. Hopefully he's, probably going to be used as a coach, maybe get a couple matches in for AEW. I mean, the first time we've seen Sting on TNT in 18 years since that final episode of Monday Night Nitro in Panama City Beach, Florida, against, I can't even do it the correct way, but literally against the dirtiest player in the game, Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Oh, hold on. I just did it wrong. With Nature Boy, woo! Ric Flair. Forgot the woo that was mic'd off on here. But yeah, literally, this is going to be hopefully we see some great stuff with the Nature Boy, with Sting on the show on AEW. Hopefully he's going to be used great. But now let's get into the main event of the evening with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship on the line, as we saw Jon Moxley defend against Kenny Omega. And surprisingly, we had a guest commentator, Don Callis. For those of us who know, he was creative. He was the network on ECW TV near the end. He was that villainous bad guy right there. He was the guy in charge of Truth or Consequences. I want to say, it was the Truth Commission. He was that guy, their leader. But everyone knows this guy from his time in ECW as the network, the TNT representative. He was just that pain in the butt there. But it's been a long time since we've seen him. He's been on Impact. He's the color commentator over there. He's he's in charge, one of the people over in charge over there. But now he's over here at Impact. He came to check out. He's also does commentary for New Japan, I believe. At least that's what I want to say. I know it's Kevin Kelly. It's a couple other people. For at least for the English version. But anyhow, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, 1-on-1, straight up wrestling match. This was an awesome match to see. From the word go, literally, this could have gone either way. Moxley, I really figured he had this thing in control all the way through, up until he delivered the DDT, the toss DDT to Kenny on the outside at the heaters. The ref comes in and is like, "Hey, we need the doctor." Callis comes, leaves the announce table. Has a microphone in his hands, like, "Hey," Mox tosses Omega back in the ring. And the craziness starts there. I mean, Callis, tries to like, hey, he's hurt. Tries to get Mox's attention, gets decked for it. Callis tosses tosses the mic over to Kenny. Kenny uses it. V trigger, one winged angel, and Moxley is no longer your AEW world champion. And he and Callis got out of Dodge as quick as can be because they didn't want to stick around. And obviously, because we're going to find out why and what happened with this whole thing, not next Wednesday, but next Tuesday on Impact Wrestling. Holy shnikes. I mean, literally, just
What the
I mean, literally, this has got to be this was an awesome way to, get Impact and Dynamite and AEW kind of working together. I mean, dude, can you imagine? We show up, next Tuesday on Impact. You got Kenny Omega, of course, Don Callis, and they announced some deal that AEW and Impact Wrestling are going to be working together for the foreseeable future. We could see the reuniting of the Bullet Club, baby, because we got the Good Brothers there as the World Tag Team Champions on Impact. We got the World Tag Team Champions of the Elite, of the alum Bucks, of those young Bucks, and we got the World Champion of AEW, Kenny Omega. We got the Bullet Club right there, baby, on both shows running the shizzo. That is going to be crazy. I mean, literally, I cannot wait to see what happens on Impact next Tuesday and what's going to happen next Wednesday on Dynamite. It is going to be freaking insane. I mean, literally, strap in, hold on tight, because this is going to get too crazy here. But, guys, we got to talk about what's coming up on Saturday with NXT. So, literally, NXT TakeOver War Games is coming up this weekend. Holy enchilada. We're going to have a lot. We're going to go through the card right now. So let's get into it. Well, I actually have some visual aid with me because Shayank, we have the card for TakeOver NXT War Games. It is going to be awesome. Sorry, NXT TakeOver War Games is going to be freaking awesome this Saturday. We know one of the themes is going to be, shoot. Literally, I just had it. It was War Pigs, Black Sabbath. That's one of them, that they've been playing over the weeks. And of course, you just saw the other one. Can't, off the top of my head. We're gonna have a strap match between Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes. That one has been a damn good, crazy storyline with these guys from Halloween Havoc and everything going on with these guys. It's going to be a fun match to see with the strap match. The NXT North America Championship is on the line with Johnny Wrestling, Damian Priest, and the current reigning and defending NXT champion of the world. We have, hold on. I had to switch something out there. Leon Ruff is going to be awesome, to say the least. That's going to be one hell of a match. And then, of course, one-on-one, we got Timothy Thatcher taking on Tommaso Ciampa in one-on-one action. And then, of course, the War Games matchups. That's going to be so good, guys. Literally, to say the least. We're going to have on, for the women's side, we're going to have Team Shotzi Blackheart, Amber Moon, Rhea Ripley, and the NXT Women's Champion of the World, Io Shirai, taking on Team Candice and Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. That's going to be explosive women's match this Sunday night. And then the men's War Games match, the Undisputed Era with Adam Cole, baby, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Bobby Fish taking on Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Larkin, the tag team champions of the world, the kings of NXT. That is just going to be awesome, guys. Literally, I cannot wait to see what happens with TakeOver War Games. It is one of the best events of the year, and it should be a damn good blast of a time, guys. So go out and check out War Games. It is going to be sweet, to say the least. But I think that is just gonna be it for me. We had 2 weeks of catching up to do here, and damn, we had a lot. So I think that is gonna be it for me for this week. We gonna roll on out of here. I hope you guys enjoy this weekend's TakeOver War Games. And of course, it's the month of December. We still have the New Japan World Tag Team League going on. We have the best of the Super Juniors going on. We have the Super J Cup coming up next week. We're going to talk about that again. Make sure you guys are ready for that one-night event coming up next Saturday. But man, I got to go. So let's get the last little bit out of here. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can follow us, the Flex Network. You can follow us on Twitter at the Flex Network 1 on Twitter for all of your fantasy football and football desires and wants and needs for that. And of course, for the wrestling side of the universe, you should be following us at Flex Network _PW Elite. And of course, you should be following us on our YouTube pages. Just search on YouTube Flex Network and the Flex Network Wrestling. Follow those for all your content needs. And then, of course, I will be back here on Wednesday night for another edition of the NFL Week in Review show with my boys, Flex, Mike, and Cowboy Cam, as we talk about what went down in week 13 and look ahead to week 14 in this crazy NFL season. And then, of course, I'll be here next Thursday to look again for another show for the Week in Review show for wrestling. I'll be here next Thursday again. Trying to think of what else. Oh, and of course, for all you podcast listeners, if you are listening on, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify. If we are not somewhere where you get your podcast fix, let us know. We will get there. We will post there, and we will continue to flex our muscles right there. We'll flex on them. But that is going to be it for me for this week on the Wrestling Week in Review show. I am the Snowman, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
This has been the Pro Wrestling Week in Review show.
You got some fellow Canadians.
But when you're from Calgary,
Where's that?
Alberta, Canada,
A one-way first-class ticket to Larryland.
What is it with you folks coming to Florida? Stay in your own country. This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. Right here.
Why me? Why me? Why me?
don't blame Canada, blame yourself.
Feels like showtime every minute to me. I can't help it.
No. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ta-ta for now. We're out of time. Good night on Nitro.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, you're welcome, Jurassic Slap Ass.